So it looks like Marvel Studios might be doing something that I honestly didn't think that they were going to do, at least not anytime soon, but recent Fantastic Four reports tell us it's happening. It sounds like Marvel Studios is going to be introducing one of the most powerful characters in Marvel history ever in the Fantastic Four film. And this character is a mutant. And since Marvel Studios has already introduced the concept of mutants in the MCU already, we could probably assume that this character will indeed be a mutant in the MCU, much like he is in the comics. And this character comes in the form of the son of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, and Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman. We are speaking of Franklin Richards, a character so powerful that I really question how they are going to depict this character in the MCU. But having said that, I believe he is going to play a very, very important role in the multiverse saga, specifically when it comes to Avengers Secret Wars and the reboot of the MCU. I believe he is going to be the character to restore the multiverse, if not one of the very few characters responsible for essentially resetting the MCU, giving us that soft reboot after the events or at the very end of the events of Avengers Secret Wars. So let's dive into what we've been told recently. But first, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news videos. So really great news about the Fantastic Four movie in general. Production is expected to begin this summer. That means we are not too far away from our first look at the Fantastic Four in costumes. Now, Marvel Studios has been a lot more secretive lately, as they should be, but they've been doing a lot better job at keeping things from leaking from their set. Now, obviously, when you film outside and there are paparazzi around really far away with really great cameras, pics are gonna get out. But for Deadpool, really, we only had one scene leak, which is actually pretty fantastic because usually we have more than that. But Marvel Studios has been on top of things recently. They like to get ahead of everybody else doing an official announcement themselves, so expect an official look from Marvel Studios to come out probably not too long after production. Now, with this report, we have another one from the insider Can We Get Some Toast, who states that Franklin Richards is going to be in the Fantastic Four film. Now, we heard rumors about this before. We heard that in the Fantastic Four movie, we aren't going to get a typical Fantastic Four origin story. And this lines up with what Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige likes to do. If we've heard the story many times before, Kevin Feige likes to put a different twist on it. The perfect example, of course, is Spider-Man Homecoming. We didn't get the classic origin of the spider bite. Why? Well, he claimed because we've all heard that story. We've all seen that story. We know that story. So the same thing goes with the Fantastic Four. He said it's not going to be a typical origin story. And from what we've heard, the Fantastic Four, when we get into the film, they're already going to be a team. And we've heard that Reed Richards and Sue Storm are already going to be married and have kids. So we already heard a rumor before that Franklin Richards could be in the MCU, but now we are getting another report stating that he is going to be in the film. Now, we don't know at what age he's going to be in the film, but even from a young child, Franklin Richards was still one of the most powerful characters out there. And the same goes for his sister as well, Valeria. More on her in a bit, because we have heard that Reed and Sue will have kids, plural, in the movie. But Franklin Richards is an Omega level mutant. He has godlike power abilities. Franklin Richards has the ability to warp reality. And the reason that he is one of the most powerful mutants out there is because of his parents and the origin of his birth. The cosmic radiation that gave Reed Richards and Sue Storm their powers also resulted in affecting the genetic structure of their son. But when Sue is pregnant, the radiation also affects her body in a way that gives her very serious difficulties in giving birth to her son. Her blood cells were examined and they found out that she was carrying a strange form of energy that threatened the life of her and her unborn baby. So to save them, with their son about to be born any time now, Reed Richards takes his teammates, the Human Torch and the Thing, into the negative zone in search for the cosmic control rod, which was currently wielded by Annihilus. They were successful in their mission. They brought the cosmic control rod back. They used the energy from the rod to get Susan's blood cells under control, and she has a healthy and successful birth to Franklin Richards. Now, Franklin Richards was born a mutant, but unlike most mutants whose powers don't come to light or emerge until the mutant reaches puberty, he was born right away with his powers showing. Also, fun fact, his full name is Franklin Benjamin Richards. Franklin, named after his grandfather, Franklin Storm, and Benjamin, named after Benjamin Grimm, aka the Thing, the best friend of Reed and Sue. Now, Franklin's story in the comics is very long and very complicated, but the big question is, how will he fit into the story of the Fantastic Four and the Multiverse Saga and Avengers Secret Wars? I believe I know how. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but first, a big thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. If you want fresh, nutritious, and extremely great tasting food that you don't have to prepare yourself, that can be ready to eat in just minutes, then Factor is perfect for you. Factor has been a complete game changer for me. They make eating healthy super easy no matter what your diet is, whether it's keto, vegetarian, vegan. If you want to eat protein-focused meals, they have Protein Plus meals. These are chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals designed by dietitians. So every meal you get is packed with premium, science-backed nutritional quality. And Factor makes it so easy for you, it's no wonder why they're America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, with a full menu of over 35 weekly meals to choose from and 60 plus add-ons, including snacks, smoothies, and more. How it works is you literally just pick your meals, they arrive at your doorstep, and all you gotta do is heat them up, usually takes about 2 minutes, and they are ready to eat. It is that simple. And right now, you can get 50% off your first box of chef-prepared, ready-to-eat meals, plus 2 free wellness shots for life per box with an active subscription. Just go over to factormeals.com/cosmicwonder50 and use code CosmicWonder50. That's factormeals.com/CosmicWonder50. So what's really interesting is that how Franklin Richards can fit into the story of Avengers Secret Wars is also how he can be kind of nerfed, because he really is incredibly powerful, one of the most powerful characters ever created. For example, he can literally create pocket universes that he can carry around in his own 2 hands. And even at one point in time, Franklin, combined with the powers of his sister Valeria, were able to raise Galactus from the dead, a cosmic entity. They were able to bring him back to life. That is insane power. But what happens in the comics is Franklin Richards helps restore the multiverse. But there is kind of a catch to this, which actually works out very well with the reboot of a new MCU. You see, in Secret Wars, the multiverse was destroyed, and Doctor Doom gets the power of the Beyonder, but eventually, Molecule Man strips his powers from him, transfers them to Reed Richards, and with these new powers, Reed Richards, along with the help of his son, Franklin Richards, and some others, restore the multiverse, but at the same time, they also create new realities. And this kind of sounds like what we've heard the soft reboot of the MCU is going to be like. It's not going to be a full-on complete hard reboot, meaning it's not just going to start over. Some things, some remnants of the MCU that we've known over these past years are going to remain. However, there is going to be a new reality in which all of these heroes live in after Secret Wars, and this is going to allow for the return of an Iron Man, Black Widow, Captain America. Not the same ones from before, but from what we've heard, new ones are going to come along, and the reason they're doing this is because Marvel Studios wants these characters to interact with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, which makes sense. So Franklin Richards restoring the multiverse while also creating new realities makes a lot of sense, but here's the catch. After Franklin Richards helps restore the multiverse after the Incursion Crisis, his powers get ultimately depleted from him, most of them at least. Now, like I said, his story is very long and complicated. Of course, he would go on later to get them back, but for the MCU's sake, to kind of nerf an incredibly powerful character, this could actually work. Franklin Richards could help restore the multiverse, but as a consequence of that, his powers are mostly, not fully, but mostly depleted, until he can eventually rise up in the new universe and be an incredible force of power, and eventually be one of the strongest characters the MCU has ever seen. I personally am really looking forward to this. I really hope this report ends up being true, because I would love to see Franklin Richards in the MCU, and I would love to see him help restore the multiverse with his father, Reed Richards. But let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. One of the most powerful Marvel characters ever could be coming to the MCU, and it's very exciting. So leave your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on the MCU. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're entered in our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, or some Marvel Legends items. The winner picks one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.